Have you ever tried to glue your 3D printed parts together and no matter what you do, you can't get rid of the seam? Well, today I'm going to show you how in a couple easy steps. So let's get on this. So recently I was working on the Slave 1 3D printed model by Gambody, and somebody asked me in the comments, how do I get rid of my seam lines? Now I have a couple extra parts left over from that build, but I can show you the concept and how I fix this as I go. First things first, you want to make certain that you sand the two pieces that are going to be in contact with each other. That is an absolute must. Best place to do it is on a flat surface like a workbench. Once you get both halves that you're going to join sanded to knock off any burrs or any flashing that might be on there, you should have a relatively good seam that you're not having to deal with. Now I understand that when you're working with larger projects, such as armor and things like that, that can be a challenge. Well, I'm gonna purposely try to sabotage this piece and make it so that there's a small gap so that I can show you how we fix it. So I'm just gonna apply my cheap super glue to this, and I'm not gonna go to too much trouble here. And we're gonna snap this together. Make sure it is lined up, and I am hoping, yes, there is a seam. I am not gonna push this together any further because I actually wanna be able to show you how we would fix a large seam, and in this case, a very nice tight seam. Let's get these two glued together as well. I know a lot of projects aren't going to have these clips, and that's okay. All right, so now we're ready to go to the next step. This is the seam that I am glad that I have a gap here. This wouldn't necessarily be good on the model, but if you're working on something else and you have a large gap, I'm going to show you how to fill this seam. But first thing we're going to do is I'm going to grab the sander. So I'm going to hit this all with the sander real quick. I am going to use this seam and this seam as an example. Now I will admit this piece is not fully in there and I'm not going to mess with it because I want to show you how to fill this seam line. So at this point we've got basically four options. I'm going to say we can use some wood filler, which I'm not a big fan of because of the durability of it. We could use the Bondo glazing, which I'm not a fan of filling gaps with because this is not a structural substance that you use. Another would be Bondo itself. Bondo is great. I use a lot of Bondo to fill seams. And I also like to use UV resin. So Bondo or UV resin are my two go-to. The other mediums, such as the fillers, those are just for surface scratches. Those are not meant to hold two joints together or to fill large gaps. So today I'm going to use the resin, the UV resin. Now I have a cup of UV resin. So I'm gonna grab a soldering iron. Now you don't need an expensive soldering iron. You need a smaller tipped soldering iron. You don't want one with a large tip, but all we're gonna do in this massive seam right here is we're gonna stick it onto the seam and we're just gonna drag it across. Now as you see, that is doing something very interesting with the plastic. And what it's doing is it's actually creating a channel. The two highest points that come together, and what we're doing is we're actually making a bevel in them. And the bevel is the most important thing that you can have right now because when you go to put your filler in there, you're not trying to fill two cracks that are perfectly level with each other. So now that we have that groove that's in there, we're going to take our sander again before we do anything else, and we're going to knock any high spots that were created from the oozing of the plastic from the hot soldering iron. We want to clear off all that dust. We want this out of here because if you try to put liquid resin on top of the dust, you could have some adherence issues and we want to get rid of that. Now that I've cleaned this area, I've got a small tipped brush and I'm going to use it with my UV resin. But first, so that I don't have resin everywhere on my project, I'm going to tape off two little lines that I can just focus on where that seam is. Now you do have to have a UV light in order to do this, or you can stick it out in the sun. What I'm going to do is just paint in some UV resin. I'm going to try not to get it all over my tape because I do want to remove my tape. And if you paint your UV resin on top of the tape really thick, you will not be able to get your tape out from underneath it once you cure it. And I'm being pretty liberal with this stuff. I actually want this to be higher than what the two halves are. Now I'm going to come in with my UV light, and I'm just going to cure this really quickly. Also, I would recommend that you do it in a fairly well ventilated area. Now while we're at it, let's move over to this extremely large seam and let's start filling it in as well. This resin is actually going to go into this crack, and it's probably going to take quite a bit to get this filled. But as you're working on it, the best thing you can do is come in with your UV light, hit it with the UV light. As you can see, that already sucked into that. We're just going to slowly build this up. Now off camera, I have bombarded this with UV light to make certain that it is fully cured because I don't want to have to do this twice. You always want the best bond to your parts so that you avoid any cracking in the future, and you also want to make sure that you double up sometimes using the soldering iron again to fill seams to make sure that those are never going to go anywhere. But for large gaps, this works great. Now, if you've ever worked with UV resin, one very important thing is, right now if I touch this, it will still be sticky, oily, greasy, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to clean this off with some isopropyl alcohol. So now that I've got it hopefully nice and clean, we're going to go to the next step, and that is to remove the tape. But before I usually remove the tape, I like to hit it with a sander because the tape's not going to hurt anything being there, and we're hoping that this ridge that we have created on both of these pieces are actually slightly higher than what the two parts are. So I'm just going to hit it very lightly with this. Highly recommend using a dust mask or something. You do not want to get this resin in your lungs. After I sand it, I blow any dust off. So we're going to peel the tape off. So now that we have this seam filled, it is higher. This seam is higher than the two pieces that I'm working with. So I'm going to go again and grab my random orbit sander, and we're going to knock this down just a hair. So now that I've sanded it with an 80 grit and then I followed it up with a 220 grit, these parts are pretty smooth, and you can feel just a little bit that there are some inconsistencies in the part. So there's still a little bit more sanding to do. However, the seams themselves, we have them pretty well taken care of. This is the point, because there's no large gap there, I would come in with my Bondo glazing. And I'm going to leave it a little high intentionally, so it's on there pretty thick, but not crazy thick. The more you put on, the more you have to sand off, of course. So now I'm going to let this cure and dry, and then I'm going to come back with a final high grit sanding. But just to show you that we can make these seams completely disappear, let's let this cure, and then we'll sand it down and we'll see where we are. So now that my Bondo has cured, now I'm going to sand it off with my random orbit sander again, and this seam should be gone. Both seams should be gone. I'm going to step outside into the 23-degree weather and hit this with a sander real quick, blow it off with some air, make sure it's clean, and we'll take a look at these seams. And there we are. That after sanding, it has feathered itself out, and if you feel it with your finger, I mean, I know that's not a good indication, but it's incredibly smooth. And that whole process only took a couple of minutes. But I'm going to hit it with some primer real quick, just so that I can show you the difference of what it looks like. And that's about it. I mean, the seam it's still there because I haven't sanded this piece after the primer, but it's almost gone. It's almost invisible compared to what it was. And if you've ever tried to fill a seam with just filler primer or even Bondo glazing, you know it's almost impossible to get rid of it. It takes a lot of material, a lot of sanding, and a lot of time, but this is just a much quicker way to do it. Okay, so for those tougher seams that are quite large and chunky in some places, same process as before, only this time we are going to use actual Bondo. That's a very large gap. I'm going to drag my soldering iron through this and let it melt down just a bit. So I've now hit it with my sander in case there were any pieces of plastic that were sticking up high. And I'm just gonna grab my Bondo and we're gonna mix just a small amount of this. Again, Bondo, if you're gonna use it in a well-ventilated area. It does have a pretty pungent scent to it. Put just a little bit of hardener on there. Now, if you're not proficient with using Bondo, I would recommend you don't mix it up until you are absolutely ready to use it. Then I'm gonna go back while it's sitting there. It's currently starting to cure, but it's not hard. It's not gonna be hard yet. And once again, I am going to tape either side of the seam that I wanna work on. I'm gonna grab a latex glove. Actually, no, I'm not. This is more the correct way to do it, is using an actual applicator. And we're gonna work that down into there. And I'm not really being all that careful, and I probably should be. But that's gonna be flush with the project. I'm gonna go a little bit higher than what I need, just because we're gonna go to the second most important part of this stage, and that is to remove the tape before it cures. Otherwise, your tape will be stuck under your Bondo. So hopefully I've gotten that Bondo up high enough that it's more flush with the tape, so that when I peel this off, now I've got a raised area there that we can sand back down flush with both sides of this piece. That's it, we're done. I mean, it's not a difficult process, and it's not very time consuming. I think it only takes me, well, you saw, to fill this seam. It took me about 3 minutes tops. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this kind of shows you it's not difficult to get rid of seams, but you can't get rid of seams with wood filler and Bondo spot putty nearly as easy, and potentially never. I never have really good luck with that. Seams are a much bigger challenge because your material continually drops into the seam and you just can't get it built up correctly because you're trying to put two perfectly flush pieces, hopefully flush pieces together, so you got two hard edges. But if you go through and you knock down both of those edges so that you have a channel for your Bondo or for your UV resin, that takes a lot of time of finishing off your hands, and it really does make it a lot better finished product at the end, not having a crack or a seam or anything like that in your project. So make sure that you hit that like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching the video today, and we'll see you in the next one.